Hi there.
Hi. Hello!
Want to do a quick video of an update on cleaning my throttle body and air intake. Got around to cleaning off the burrs here. See how this has this little lip here and this little lip here. Now, when they form these, they use a mold, and there was two razor sharp lips right here. They cut the hell out of me every time I was doing anything with it. So took a bastard file and just filed them off. All it was just the extra nibbing, and now it's a lot easier to handle once that's gone. I remounted my throttle position sensor after cleaning it up. Take it off when you're cleaning it. You don't want to get anything in there. You don't want anything in with the pins. You know, you clean all this debris off here, then you get a piece of metal stuck in there, you're screwed. It'll arc. Everything's bad. But cleaned it up, nice and shiny for the most part. I mean, you really can't clean this too much with how, you know, pitted the metal is. But you know, took wire brushes to it. I've got some nice fine paint brushes, real soft bristles. You know, wiped the acetone in there, filled a bowl full of carburetor cleaner, dip the brushes in there, work it around, and then take a brass brush and clean the gunk off. You know, it's nice and shiny in some spots, but pitted in others. I mean, this thing is almost as old as I am. Another thing that I had to do was inside here, and inside here, inside here, and inside here, completely just covered in gunk, and just looked disgusting. Got them cleaned out. There's still some dark spots in there, like here, but that's, you know, where it really got into the metal. One thing, like I was saying before, you couldn't really crack the throttle open. You know, you press the pedal, and then it would pop. Yeah, there's no more of that sticking because it's cleaned. And when I say cleaned, I mean actually cleaned. I got down in here with a pick. See how you can see around? You can see around it. You're supposed to be able to see around it like that because there has to be some kind of airflow. Keep in mind, when you have this mounted, you're looking towards the truck. This is like the front of the truck is here. This is what you're looking at. You got your throttle cable here. You got your sensor over here, and right underneath here is your idle control, or idle air control. Your valve's down here. It only sucks in enough air to create a vacuum to suck more air in through here, to just, it'll kind of put a little bit of pressure on these to where it'll crack it open just a little so it can breathe. It wasn't doing that before. It couldn't, because it was so gummed up and clogged that it wasn't working. You couldn't give it, these were pitch black, just absolute gummed up black. Nasty. Now they're shiny. They're nice and shiny. You can see it. Hello. Yeah, you can see through it now. You have that ring of air going around, a ring of air going around. You can see right there. Right there. You see that light? That's what you want. You want a little bit of air to go around. Now, when you actually look in here, see that lip? That nice shiny lip? Yeah. That's what stops, you know, that's your step down. But all of that I had to scrape off with something kind of like this and dig all the gunk out of there, because it was literally making these stick. There was so much gunk in there that when you moved this, it pushed the gunk out of the way one way, pushed it out of the way the other, and as soon as you let it go, it dragged it back in, and you couldn't do anything. It was just really, really nasty. Now, when you're looking in there, I mean, you see how much clearance that has. I mean, that's, you have to really clean these. If you're having an issue with idle, if you're having an issue with your engine dying, you know, just like cutting off because it sounds like it's choking, it might be. It just might be. Pull your throttle body off there. Pull this off. Don't just look at this and go, well, I can see this, it looks clean. This whole back half could just be clogged. I mean, it's like you got your carburetor like this. You got all the carburetors like this, and everybody's like, oh, I'm just going to spray some carburetor cleaner in here and it's good. No, take your carburetor off. Look at the bottom. Look at the backside. You could be looking like down at it. It looks great. It looks great. And looks great when you do that. But as soon as you flip it around and you see the back, it's complete trash. It's gummed up and nasty. When I get my parts now, these parts that I've been waiting on, my fuel injectors, they've been all over the country. They've been to like 7 or 8 different states, and they were supposed to be here on the 11th. They were in Phoenix, Arizona on the 11th. They left Phoenix at like 3 minutes after midnight on the 11th. And I was thinking, oh, good, they left Phoenix. That means I should get them today. Well, nothing happened. So I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, no update, no nothing. A couple days went by. Still nothing. Then all of a sudden it tells me they're in St. Paul, Minnesota. And then it's over to another state. Then it's over to another state. Then it's another city in another state. And it just kept jumping around. Well, they're finally in Arizona again. So I'm probably going to get them tomorrow. Then I can put everything back together and run my tests and see how it all works. Now I did show you guys all the fuel injectors. I did a whole bunch of digging. I got the part numbers off of them. I got the numbers on the back, because you have like your normal part number, and then you have the actual part number, because your truck runs off of X part. That's the part. But then that part could be made by like 10, 15 people, so you look up the people's part, the actual manufacturer part number. Well, I looked up the manufacturer part number. They were used parts, and when I looked them up, they were discontinued. Like, I think it was like 10 years ago. I think it said it was like the only place you can buy that exact model made by that exact manufacturer is through eBay right now, and a set of 8 is $15. So after being refurbished, they just said, you know, just discontinue it, throw it out, start new, get some new parts out. Well, I ordered new parts, so that should be better. And the truck calls for multi-port fuel injectors. These injectors are only single port, so that's probably one of the issues. And since they're remanufactured and refurbished parts, that tells me that they changed, whoever had it last changed it out for these other parts and just went with the cheapest, quickest option that they could find because they were broke. And it's like, yeah, it worked for a little while, but if you're not having the right jet for fuel injectors, it throws everything off. I mean, this thing, instead of jetting down to the sides or doing a mist or a cone, these ones were single jet where it just shot a small amount. These fuel injectors are only 23 psi. The truck requires 30 to 36 or 38 psi. So these were really underjetted. Just it was horrible, but I'm getting it fixed. I'm getting it done. Sure, it's taken me a lot longer than I hoped, but we're talking a savings of $1,000 because I want new parts. I want the best top parts for it within my budget, and instead of going to AutoZone or O'Reilly or ordering from Napa or any of these other car stores that are local to the area who are blowing the price way out of their ass, I went to Rock Auto. Yes, I am seriously frustrated and pissed off that it's taken this long, but it's not really Rock Auto's fault because it's the shipper that lost it, not Rock Auto. So my frustration at Rock Auto is just that they don't have an actual customer service where you can call up and be like, hey, yeah, hello, my parts are missing. No, you have to file a report, but you can only file a report for lost or missing items if it hasn't, if your product or item hasn't moved in 7 days, then you can request. But once you go to that page, you can click on the thing like, where's my stuff? And then you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and there's a thing saying, contact the service department or customer sales department or whatever. You contact them through an email, and they'll get back to you. And if it's been like so many days and you're kind of questioning it, they'll start a report with the shipping company for you. Now, I had already contacted the shipping company, so I had all the information already. So that was way out of it. That's all done and over with. So hopefully I get them, tomorrow. If not, I'm going to throw a fit, and then I'm going to throw some chairs because it's been forever. But I just really want to get the truck on the road again because that once I changed out the spark plugs and a couple other things, the truck just died. It just died. It did not want to run at all. I changed out the PCV valve, changed out the purge valve, changed out some other stuff, and it's like, no, I'm done. So I've just been chasing one gremlin after the next, but once I pulled off the O2 sensor and swapped out those relays, it started running better. Granted, I had the check engine light, but the check engine light was there because I had literally removed the O2 sensor. So it didn't, there's no way I could tell. But the O2 sensor that was on there was, again, a wrong part. It was, like, you can tell, the height-wise, and this thing was just massive. So it was not the right one, and it's jet black. Just jet black. They come in 3-pin or 4-pin. You can if you have a 3-pin, you can put a 4-pin, but if you have a 4-pin, you have to have a 4-pin, because with the 3-pin, you have your ground, your positive, negative. With the 4-pin, it's ground, ground, positive, negative. So, the 4th pin is just a secondary ground. If you've got a 4-pin, get a 4-pin. If you have a 3-pin, get a 4-pin. It's better that way. Have that redundancy. It's just like those relays. Arguing with O'Reilly's, arguing with AutoZone, them telling me, it doesn't work because this has 4 pins, yours has 4 pins, and this has 5 pins. See, there's 2 up top and then 3 on the bottom. And then I have to point out, look at the diagram. That's a redundancy ground. It doesn't do anything except for make sure that it's grounded. And if you look at my wiring harness doesn't even have a wire going to that. So it doesn't matter. So that's that. Once I get those parts in and get everything put back together, I'm going to run the OBD1 check on it, and then I'm gonna do the while running test on it. And if I can, if there's no more shimmy, no more knock, then I'll know that I got the culprit, and I'll know that it's not something worse, like a bad head or something like that. But here's hoping, fingers crossed. But once I can get back up on the road again, then one of these days, like when everybody goes on vacations and does their little over the river shit, then I'll be able to go up to my property and actually do something for myself for once, other than working on the truck. It's like, I love working on my truck. I love working on my truck. I love working on my Jeep. I love working on vehicles. I just don't like doing it for other people. It's like, I'm doing it my way, and my way is the way that makes me happy, and it's my money, so I can spend it how I want. But 'tis the season, I guess. I just really wanted people to know that if you have the 460, if you have a 460 and it is not breathing right, undo this, pop the cable off of here, undo your 4 bolts, pull it off. Take a look at the back. If it's absolutely gummed up beyond recognition back here, clean it up. I looked at the front of this time after time. I'd pull off the hoses and I'd look and I'd watch and I'd do my little, okay, it's, if I'm sitting there and I just barely, barely pull that off of there and give it just a little bit, it ran better, it worked better, and I was figuring, well, maybe if I work this screw here, maybe if I do this screw, and then I remember, I can't do that, because if you mess with that idler screw, you really screw up the engine, because these units are tuned for a specific point. But I was like, man, there's something there, something. So when I pulled it off and saw that you couldn't see through there and that it was all gummed up, I knew. Clean it. Now, it'll breathe better. I get actual air. That's what you need. Oxygen, fuel, spark. Those are the 3 things for your engine to run. Oxygen and fuel mix, and then once you add the spark, bam, your engine's running. If you have too much fuel, not enough oxygen, you're going to have a screwed up spark. It's not going to explode like it's supposed to. You're going to miss. You're going to have issues. You're going to run into a lot of problems. I'm surprised that the truck made it as far as it did with that completely just gummed up the way it was. That's just how it is. See you guys next time.